Oh,
We're on the record in two cases. First case is cause number 325438. Second case is 325442. Both cases are styled the state of Texas versus Ryan Eldert Carter. Mr. Carter, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Carter, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God? Mr. Carter, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Carter? You doing okay? That's fine. Mr. Carter, the first case is cause number 325438. In that case, the information states that on or about November 7 of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of evading arrest detention. Mr. Carter, do you understand what you've been charged with? And to that charge, Mr. Carter, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? Mr. Carter, I have before me what has been marked as State's Exhibit Number 1. It is the misdemeanor plea admonishment. Mr. Carter, do you recognize this document? On page 2 of this same document, Mr. Carter, on the line that says nola contendere, which means no contest, are these your initials? On the third page of the same document, Mr. Carter, is this your signature above the line that says defendant? I have another document here. This document is titled the Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal. Mr. Carter, do you recognize this document? And is this your signature on the line that says defendant? There's one box that's checked off on the top here. That box states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do we have the discovery certification?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Carter, I think what we're gonna have to do, you may have to do two of them.
Okay.
I think you wrote two numbers on one and
I
okay.
did, you.
Yes, let me do this here. Once you get another sheet, and you could put the second number on that. Here you go.
Thank you, Judge, for my apology.
Oh, no, it's not a problem.
Just for the second case, take it off that certification. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, now, Mr. Carter, I have before me a document that is titled the Discovery Certification. Mr. Carter, do you recognize this document? And is that your signature above the line that says defendant? Now, Mr. Carter, prior to signing and initialing these documents, did your attorney go over these documents with you? And did you read and understand these documents? And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge? Okay. State, I have before me State's Exhibit Number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'd also like to offer State's Exhibit 2, that's the PC affidavit in this case.
Mr. Wilkerson, do you have any objections to the State's offering State's Exhibits 1 and 2?
No objections either, Judge.
Okay, no objections. State's Exhibit Number 1 and State's Exhibit Number 2 will be admitted. Mr. Carter, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation? Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation? Mr. Wilkerson, your client, Mr. Carter, that's here before the court, is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
There is none, Your Honor.
Mr. Carter, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that your plea of no contest and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor. It's for 180 days to be probated over 18 months, $800 fine, 80 hours community service, and that's to run concurrent with cause number 325442.
Mr. Carter, the state is offering that you serve 180 days in jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in jail in this case because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $800 and court costs of $352. That comes to a total fine and court cost of $1,152. You'll also be required to pay probation fees of $60 each month, a urinalysis fee of $15 each month, and you will be required to reimburse the court-appointed attorney's fees of $250. Now, the total monthly fee that you will be required to pay per month on probation is $160. Would you be able to pay the $160 per month? You will? All right. Now, you'll also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, and this case will run concurrent with cause number 325442. Mr. Carter, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Carter, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you've entered into with the state. Mr. Carter, there's another case that we have, which is cause number 325442. In that case, the information states that on or about the same day of November 7th of 2019, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of failure to identify a fugitive from justice. Mr. Carter, do you understand what you have been charged with? And Mr. Carter, how do you plead to this charge? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily? And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges? State, I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's 1?
Yes, Your Honor, and I'd also like to offer State's Exhibit 2 in this case. That's the PC affidavit for this case.
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, no objection. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 will be admitted. Mr. Wilkerson, you advised and counseled Mr. Carter in this case as well. Is there any evidence that he is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Carter, your attorney, Mr. Wilkerson, has advised you and counseled you in this case. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, sir.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Carter, I will accept your plea of no contest. I will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. I will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And the documents that the court presented to you earlier, your attorney has you've read those documents, right? And you understood what was in those documents?
Yes, sir.
And your attorney went over those documents, which is that correct? All right. Now, State, Do we have a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, it's 180 days probated over 18 months, a $750 fine, 80 hours community service, and that's also to run concurrent with cause number 325438.
Mr. Carter, the state is offering in this case that you serve. Okay, you said it was 180 days?
Yeah, their plea is different on each one.
Was it 180 days over 18 months or 90 days? I'm looking at the judgment that says 90 days over 18 months.
Yeah.
Ms. Ramos, on the plea agreements, they were reversed. I had the 180.
Did you write on there 90 over 18 months? I'm going off of Shaylin's notes. This isn't my case, so.
Yes,
Oh.
the prior was 180, and this one was 90, and both of them were for 18 months.
Okay, then I'm sorry, Your Honor, I misstated the plea in this one. It should be 90 over 18 months then.
What we do is, would you please restate the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, it's 90 over 18 months probation, $750 fine, 80 hours community service, and that's to run concurrent with cause number 325438.
Okay, now, Mr. Carter, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve any time in the Jefferson County Jail on this case because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, in this case, you will be required to pay a fine of $750. Now, the fine, let's see.
Again,
352, okay.
the fine in this one was 800. What has happened is the plea agreements were reversed with the two cause numbers.
It should be 750 in this case.
Yeah, that's what it has here.
On the plea paperwork, 750.
Okay, so let me repeat that. Mr. Carter, the state is offering that you serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail. However, you will not have to serve 90 days in the Jefferson County Jail because you will be placed on probation for 18 months. During the 18-month probationary period, you will be required to pay a fine of $750 and court costs of $350, which will come to a total of $1,102. You will not be required to pay probation fees in this case. You will also be required to pay a urinalysis fee of $15. And you would have to reimburse the court-appointed attorney's fees of $50 in this case. Now, your total monthly installment, what you would have to pay per month, will be $85. Would you be able to pay the $85 each month? Okay. Now, you will also be required to perform 80 hours of community service, and this case will run concurrent with clause number 325438, your previous case. Mr. Carter, do you understand the state's offer? And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just? And do you accept the state's offer? Mr. Carter, I will follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Carter, please stand on the X in front of the court in front of the court clerk right here, Mr. Carter, the first. And you can follow her instructions. And Mr. Carter, please have a good day.